Good morning, friends. Sat Sri Akal, Adab, Namaskar. Today, this video is going to be a video related to what is actually excision. Many people have been talking after these 10 cantonments which have been excised by a government notification, and unfortunately, the notifications are speaking not of boundary pillar, it is speaking of survey numbers. So, what really is the plight of not just, I would say, 62 cantonments, but in specifically 57 cantonments, which prior to 1947 were made? So, we are a divided lot. Why? Because we are, by the government of those days and of the present, the very simple principle of the British was to divide and rule. How did they do it? So they created this old grand bungalows, estates, shops, and then way in 1937 and later in the CLA rules they said, okay, this is the bazaar area. Guys, honestly speaking, since 1810, within the military cantonment boundary pillars, there was a bazaar area. Now, what was that? Whether it was within the military boundary pillars or what is segregated by the cantonment boundary pillars. We will not go into that. Now, what are we two now? Within the cantonment, we are two people, two identities. One identity is the bungalow owner and the other identity is the civil area or the bazaar area. Why after the independence we were kept in the same status quo? Why didn't the government, when the constitution came up, said everything is bazaar area? There is a debate of the constitution where Jawaharlal Nehru actually said, let's abolish cantonments. But then with passage of time, the men in uniform never wanted to take their powers away from them, so they did not want to. And this division actually gives us or divides us. We have no unity. We people talk on different lines. Unfortunately, the educated people who have come up in either sides also talk in bifurcated lines. Friends, I feel very disturbed, when civil area and bazaar area people, I remember in 2012, an objection was raised by Jalandhar civil area people that Mr. Das, your association's name is All India Cantonment Bungalow Owners Association. At that time, my motive was to grow with the association and let the association on name or the nitty-gritties not be disputed. So we added in bungalow comes civil area. But the original association of 1908 was All India Cantonment Bungalow Owners. Because in 1908 there was no civil area. So that's the story. We are such a divided lot. You talk to the civil area people, they are so happy we are getting excised. Some people in the bungalow area also actually don't realize what they speak. This is good forbid they are getting rid of us. Now, coming to the law, I have briefed earlier also, where in the Cantonment Act 1924 and 2006 it is written, that is section 3 and 4. Now, it says areas can be included, areas can be delimited. So, they can be removed. Why, I ask a question, bungalow area is not being delimited under these two sections. These two sections do not speak of the CLA rules. These two sections do not speak of CLA Rule 2, where in 1937 or 43 and later on civil areas of every cantonment were. So this is that $1 million question. We need to ask the government, what are you excising under this Rule 3 and 4? Or are you actually doing that excision? No, they are not. They are actually excising the CLA Rule civil area. They are not excising or delimiting the Cantonment Act Section 3 and 4 area. So what is happening? A report was made by the then Secretary Dave, R.S. Dave, which unfortunately the department says it doesn't have, but well, I have just mailed a compendium to the Ministry, DG Lands, in which the Dave report is there of 1957. Why this report in 55 was constituted was because the Mehta Committee report had actually said we do not need cantonments. So Agra as an example was excised, the first cantonment. There were 5 cantonments which were picked up, but it was Agra and the civil area of one Neemuch area was excised. But what happened is, in that excision, the land records were being maintained and the NOCs were given by the DO Agra itself. Now later on, 1977, I've been repeatedly saying, when my father was in the chair, I remember Bansilal was the defense minister and he excised Ambala in 1977. So there are no big deals of excision. I am a victim, I have a property on this side of the excision also. So we people are very oftenly saying, and I am being repeatedly saying, we will shift from one dad to a new dad. The word dad, hamara baap badal jayega. Land records will not be changed. Nowhere in the notification, nowhere in the order copy, it talks of when our father, dad or baap will change. How will be the land record maintained? Earlier it was written Government of India, Union of India is the owner of this. Will it be written now state government? You know, I remember some doctor in Agra who's been hyping into too much about himself. We don't even know the laws. We only know a political solution. We only know that we can go and beg to these politicians. We Indians are slaves. We do not want to trust ourselves. We do not trust our constitution because the justice system is so delayed. I am a victim of that justice system, but we have to fight it. I bet if we all get united, this war can be won overnight. We have the law in place. We have everything in place now, but we do not have unity in place, which we will not have because India was only ruled either by the Muslims or by the Britishers because Hindus were a divided lot. And today, unfortunately, we are coming back onto Hinduism on a thought of religion. No. We have to unite as human beings. We have to think for the betterment of our society, not for myself. So what are the discrepancies in this accession which is happening? Land is not being transferred. Ownership rights are not being given to the occupier. Further on, these ownership right is not being given to the state government either. Government of India is still keeping its share of revenue. Rules for the maintenance of land records such that GLR are not being formulated by any mean of either transfer if are made. State municipalities will demand admission deeds under the same procedure for mutation or sale. Mutation will be only done under the civil municipal laws of that state for tax purposes. They will not mutate you as owners of the property. Sale of property again will be of Malwa. And the state government can again stop us from that sale anytime. In Ambala, our local MLA, whenever he gets up in the morning, he says, okay, no sales from today in excised area. So the Tahsildar will not do any sales. What? Again, we are at the whims and you don't vote for him, you don't vote for that. So we are again becoming a political gimmick. Divisions will not be allowed. Owners again will not have a right to mortgage their property. So even after taking such steps under 1937 CLA Rule 2, civil areas which were declared then are not the same civil areas which are now in 2024. After about 85-90 years, we are making an eyewash. I remember Mr. X talking to me from Sagar Cantonment, and we had a detailed discussion on it. The section 2006-233, no cantonment CEO has made a new plan, has not redefined the civil areas. Ministry of Defence is basically washing its linen in open, and they do not want to fund these lands and properties either in civil area by naming them in the form of government grants given for the maintenance of these cantonment areas. So basically it is the MOD and the system which is shunning us out. And if you do not realize this, friends, all we need to make a call. Are we happy in changing our father's name alone in this succession? Most of the civil area people may say yes, but they don't realize nothing is going to change. Friends, whether we were on this side or whether we were on that side, we were given leases under the 1899 code, 1912 or maybe CLA rules. You'll be surprised, I have details where there were bungalows in the cantonment, in the civil area, because prior to 1937 there was no civil area. Okay, thank you, good day.